Terrell County, Texas Sheriff, and former Border Patrol agent Thad Cleveland. Sheriff, thanks very much for being here today.
Hey, good morning, ma'am. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Can you assess from your important standpoint what's going on with Venezuelan gangs and migrants in America today?
You know, and it's not just Venezuela, to be honest. It's Mexico, it's Central America, and many countries in South America. And the reason is because we are a country governed by the rule of law. We are a country that has consequences when you break the law. And we are a country that primarily it has respect for law enforcement unless you're, and ironically enough, one of those sanctuary cities where, you know, they're looking to defund police as well.
Well, you say that we have respect for the law and we follow the law, but frankly, Sheriff, we're not doing that, okay? This person was able to murder this beautiful nursing student in Georgia because he was let out in New York City. He was arrested in New York City. He breached the country in Texas, in your neighborhood, near, you know, in El Paso. And there was no following of the law.
Yes, ma'am. And that boils down to this administration. It boils down to not having any consequences at our borders. Right now, we're not a country of rule of law at our borders. This administration has completely dismantled everything the Border Patrol put in place. Look, the Border Patrol is going to be 100 years old this May. This administration completely dismantled everything we've done to accomplish what we accomplished along the border. So it starts with this administration.
Yeah, and you see so much there in Texas, Sheriff. I want you to explain to us what you see on a daily basis, because I've been told that Houston right now is a hotbed, and some of the most successful businesses are fake IDs, and you've got kids driving 18-wheelers from the border to Houston, dropping illegals off in Houston. They get their papers, and then they go wherever they want. Give us some stories that you have been witness to as sheriff there in Texas.
Well, ironically enough, I got a call last night and went out about 2 in the morning and took a car, impounded a car, seized a car from 2 Hondurans that were allowed in on political asylum. They were here to smuggle illegal aliens. The night before last, same thing. We had another illegal alien in a vehicle that was out of Washington State that came down to load illegal aliens. But what I want to make a contrast is what happens in Eagle Pass, what happens in El Paso, what we see in Lukeville and San Diego with asylum seekers. We don't have that here. We do not have people wanting to surrender here in Terrell County. What we've forgotten about is securing our border from those who want to enter in illegally as well. So not only has this administration allowed open borders for those who want to come and claim asylum when they don't have a right to it, but we still have those who are entering in our country illegally, undetected. And when we do detect them and we give chase, they run. And if we encounter them on the highways, they lead us in high-speed pursuits. That's what we see right here in Terrell County.
And how is this affecting the citizens of Terrell County?
Our landowners, you know, and this is the 10th largest county in the state of Texas. We have over 2,300 square miles. We have 54 miles of border with Mexico. Our landowners have homes that are broken into. They have water lines that are continuously broken by the illegals. And the reason the illegals break the water lines is because they don't go to the actual water tank because they think that there's cameras there to watch them. And then, of course, the trash that's left on the properties. I tell you, I go to river crossings here in the county, and we used not to have this type of trash. And now we are having just a tremendous amount. And I want to make that another point is that, you know, when this administration took over, we went from about 1,000 apprehensions a year up to a 289% increase the first year this administration took over, and then a 418% increase from that last year of Trump. So we've seen, like the rest of the border, significant activity, significant crossings here in our county.
Yeah, and I went to your county and I spoke with farmers and ranch owners, and they said they won't even throw out the garbage without holding their pistol, okay? They have to hold their guns at all times because they're afraid they see strangers trashing their property. This poor guy cried to my face, and I felt so bad for him when I spoke with him in Del Rio. And I know, Cheryl Cusoni, you have family in Terrell County right now.
Well, no, I mean,
near Terrell County.
Near Terrell County, and I have to tell you, Sheriff, you know, the memories I have of Terrell and, of course, the neighboring communities like my family's are so different from what those communities are today. And I recently went back and I was so saddened to see what had happened to small town like Mount Pleasant, Texas, like Terrell County, even going up towards Louisiana, towards Shreveport. I mean, all of these Texas communities, these towns have been destroyed by illegal immigration. That's been happening for the last decade. But my question to you is, what can we learn now about why these migrants are now shifting to Arizona and California? From your experience, not just as a sheriff now, but also from your time on the border, what do we need to know? What do the people of Arizona and California need to know about what you've been through in Texas?
So we have to go back a few decades when I first came in the Border Patrol, and each administration before this administration had actually, lent to a safer border. They had built infrastructure, technology, and hired more Border Patrol agents, starting with President Clinton. Obviously, some administrations more than others, but this administration, again, is completely abandoned the border. But to get more to your point, so Arizona and California, when we've added infrastructure and manpower and technology in those areas, it shifted the activity here to Texas. But what's happened now is Governor Abbott has put more resources on the border, funded local law enforcement like myself that has increased a presence on the border, and now shifting that activity back to places where we have infrastructure and where it was more secure.
Well, listen, let's be clear. Under the Trump administration, border encounters were at a 40-year low. They are now at a 20-year high. In the last year of the Trump administration, that was 2020, there was a total of 405,000 encounters for the whole year, 2020. In December of 2023 alone, 1 month, there was 302,000. So, the Trump administration had serious security at the border. The Biden administration overturned that. And, Sheriff, I want to get your thoughts on all of these Chinese nationals coming in, because I spoke with former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo about that, and he said this will haunt us going forward. He's questioning whether or not they are being directed by the CCP to come here and ultimately be saboteurs at some point. What are your thoughts?
Deeply concerning. I tell you, it's unreal. And the numbers continue to rise more than we've ever seen along the southwest border. As a matter of fact, the arrest of Chinese nationals is outnumbering the arrest of Mexican nationals along the border out there in California. But I'll tell you what, there's without a doubt that there's going to be some coming in to do harm. They're going to come in and they're going to migrate across the United States, whether they do something overtly or covertly. We're going to be paying for what's happened this last 3 years. And unfortunately, I'll be honest, I think we've got another 9 months of this administration allowing this to happen before we can see any sort of resolution here at the border.
Really disturbing. Sheriff, we so appreciate your work and your time this morning, sir. Thank you.